everybody, my name is Eric Hopkins and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're finding me for the very first time, please click that like and subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications about when I put up new content here on my channel. Well, it's 2021, so far it's been the year of Zack Snyder. We had his big time movie release of Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League earlier this year, and now he has a new movie on Netflix that dropped this weekend called Army of the Dead, starring Dave Bautista. And basically this, I'm going to get into some non-spoilers here, just so you know, in my review. I always start my reviews with non-spoilers, and then midway through I cut to the spoiler warning, and then I get into full spoilers of the movie. So don't worry about me ruining it if you have not seen the film yet. So this film is basically a zombie heist movie. That's pretty much what it is. And to be honest, you know, I've not always thought Dave Bautista is the greatest thespian in the world. Now, he is a former professional wrestler. And of course, you know, we've had The Rock, we've had Hulk Hogan, we've had John Cena. We've had a bunch of wrestlers who've got into acting after their career is over. And a lot of times they don't start out very well. But obviously, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has had a great success when it comes to acting after his professional career was over. So, I mean, and Dave Bautista has been in a few high-profile films as well. And John Cena is starting to get into that same level. But, I mean, Dave Bautista has taken roles up to this point I feel like are good for his acting skill. Like, obviously, Inspector. The James Bond film that he was in, he didn't really speak much. I think he had one word of dialogue in that entire film. And obviously with Drax the Destroyer and Guardians of the Galaxy, his most well-known film that he's in, the character is deadpan. It plays a certain way to where you don't have to be a great actor to pull the character off. He's such a literal character. And but Dave Bautista does a great job with it. I was very impressed with Dave Bautista in this movie. He has this acting about him that I've not seen yet from him before on screen. He has emotional depth. He has range. He's able to, you know, convey his heartbreak and his sadness to the audience that, you know, in a way that just Dave Bautista has not shown us before. And I'm sure that was one of the reasons he came onto this movie for Zack Snyder. But he is definitely, you know, obviously being the main actor of this film, he's got to carry this film on his shoulders. And I think he does actually a pretty decent job here. So good on you, Dave Bautista. I'm happy for you, buddy. That's awesome. But as for the film itself, I mean, I do feel like it's a little long. It is 2 hours and 28 minutes. Zack Snyder seems like he doesn't quite either know how to or want to make a film that is less than 2 hours anymore. I mean, his Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League was 4 hours long. And any other film he's done for the DCEU has been over 2 hours, I think, for the most part. So he definitely, and don't get me wrong, it gives the director time to flesh out characters and tell a story that's more fleshed out and all that sort of thing. But the one thing about Zack Snyder he loves to do too, and it is very prevalent in this film as well, is lots of slow-mo. Now the action is great, but there is a lot of slow motion that if you cut a lot of that out, it would probably cut down the film about 20 minutes. And definitely in the Justice League cut he did, I think it cut about a half hour out of it if you took it down or something like that. They actually added it up somewhere. But again, I mean, I think Zack Snyder is a brilliant visual director. He's kind of, I mean, he tells good stories, I think. I don't know if he has, like, I mean, he's not Shakespeare. This film, obviously, you're not watching this for Shakespeare. This is a zombie film with action, and, you know, you're going after money like you're in an Ocean's 11 movie almost. But, you know, but, you know, I just don't know if Zack Snyder is cut out to tell like great stories, but when it comes to visual action, he's great at it. And in this regard, this movie delivers in spades when it comes to action. There's a lot of Dave Bautista has to, like, you know, bring together this team to go and do this bank heist, so to speak, in the middle of Las Vegas that is being overrun by these zombies. And there's obviously a time clock on it for certain reasons that I'll get into in my spoiler review here. But I mean, and of course the teammates don't trust each other. There's a lot of backstabbing and things like that goes on in a very highly dangerous situation as it is. And, you know, it ends up in kind of a sad place. I'm not going to lie, but the storytelling is done in such a way, at least good enough to where it makes you don't expect the ending. So in that regard, it really hooked me. I don't think this is the greatest film ever made. Obviously, but it's a good, solid Netflix film that if you know, and if you want to go see it in the theater, it probably will enhance the experience. But for me, I was glad to watch it on Netflix at home. Since it was 2.5 hours, I was able to hit pause if I needed to or take a break, which I did at one point. About an hour in, I kind of took a break on it, and it actually helped me a lot more to enjoy this film. But if you're looking for, you know, a good just zombie movie, you know, shoot 'em up type thing where you can just kind of enjoy yourself, eat a little popcorn and have fun, this movie is for you. But if you're looking for something a little bit more than that, you're probably not going to get it here. But that's kind of what I have to say about it for the non-spoiler section. So I'm going to hit the spoiler warning now. And if you've not seen the movie, go ahead and hit stop now and come back after you've seen it, and I'll ruin the whole thing for you after this. Okay, so this movie, you know, like I said, is basically just, you know, shoot 'em up brains, zombie, killing all over the place. But there's also, the one thing in the trailer that sold me on this movie that I really wanted to check it out opening weekend on Netflix was because of the zombie white tiger. I'm not going to lie, which the tiger's name is Valentine in this movie, as a matter of fact. That thing is awesome, and I'm glad it had. I mean, it had a couple different scenes where it's walking around stuff, but we finally got toward the end of the film, the scene where the white zombie tiger just absolutely, goes crazy and murders this one dude. It's absolutely fun to watch, and it doesn't hurt the fact that this guy that he kills is basically a backstabbing traitor and was working for the guy who hired everybody and was basically, he turned on the entire team. So he had what was coming to him. So karma and all of its glory here. Obviously, this movie starts out with basically this military convoy. They're shipping this shipment from Area 51, and it collides with a car on a highway, and it unleashes the shipment that they're carrying from Area 51 is a zombie, and this zombie kills a number of soldiers and infects 2 others, and the zombie then heads to Las Vegas, where it infects the entire population. After a failed military intervention, though, the government quarantines the entire city, so no one could go in or out. And the way the government decides to take care of this situation is to nuke the entire city and destroy all the living dead, so to speak, and wipe them all out. But before that happens, I don't know what you call him. He's a casino owner. His name's Bly Tanaka, actually. He's an associate. And he has an associate that he sends in with this team. His name's Martin. And he hires mercenary Scott Ward, played by Dave Bautista, to go and recover $200 million from his casino vault before the military decides to destroy the city. And of course, Dave Bautista's character is dealing with a lot of heartbreak because he had to literally murder his wife, who became a zombie as well, right in front of his daughter. So he's dealing with this heartbreak, and obviously, the disconnect between him and his daughter due to this, but not due to this. There's a lot of deep elements when it comes to their relationship, and I think this movie is mostly about their relationship. It's actually about what would you do in that situation if you had to actually kill someone you love due to them becoming a zombie in front of your little girl. I mean, that would destroy a person. And I think Dave Bautista does a very good job of bringing that element to the screen and how you would, process that. And of course, being the soldier that he is, he's able to put that aside when the time calls for it. But the daughter, obviously, she says later in the film that it's not so much that he killed her mother. It's that after the fact that he, closed himself off, never talked about it, and it wasn't there for her. That's why they have this tension. But of course, by the end of the film, they reconcile. Unfortunately, it doesn't go well for Dave Bautista, which, to be honest, it doesn't go well for anybody in this movie. I mean, and let's be honest, if you're going to pull off a bank heist and you got to go into a zombie-filled city, most of these people are not going to make it out. Let's be honest. This whole film, leads to that. But I didn't expect literally nobody to get out of this unscathed. The only person who does is Dave Bautista's daughter, and that's only. But even so, she lost her father. He almost becomes a zombie. She has to put a bullet in him at the end of this film, which is like, wow. Now she has to live through what her father had to go through by killing her mother. She had to kill her father, which is incredible. That's an emotional beat I wasn't expecting to see by the end of this film. There's really no happy ending here. This is nothing but the zombies are destroyed, I suppose, but The post-credit tease, though, too. Well, it's not really a post-credit tease. It's kind of a at the end of the film thing. But one of the members of the team who's going for this heist ends up being saved by the vault. The guy who was working on the vault and opened the vault for him, he ended up closing him into the vault himself to save him in this movie. You find out at the end that while he has some of the money that was in the vault, and he's starting to spend it and enjoy himself a little bit, that's when he realized he's been bitten also. So the sequel, they're actually setting up a sequel here to where this guy, he's the only one who got out that, you know, nobody knew was bit. So when he turns, he's going to create more zombies. So there's going to be another outbreak that's going to potentially bring on a sequel here. So that's an interesting tease that they set up too. Everybody else that was either going to be a zombie, got bit, was either killed or, you know, nuked when the nuke went off in Vegas. So, you know, they did a good job of tying up all the loose ends there, which is a lot of movies don't tend to do. And of course, you know, just about everybody, like I said, goes in on this mission, dies. Either they're eaten by zombies or they're killed by a backstabbing team member, or, you know, a helicopter goes down, they don't survive the crash, or an explosion goes on. There's always something in this movie that it does keep you on the edge of your seat in that regard. It's like, what next? So in that regard, I thought this movie did a great job of keeping you engaged and on the edge of your seat. So for that, I definitely enjoyed it. But like I said, for the most part, it's got great action. It was a little long for me, but other than that, I think the interactions between the characters and the actors they all did a really good job, which is even more impressive when you realize the story behind the helicopter pilot, played by Tig Notaro. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. But anyway, this film was filmed with, I believe, another actor doing the scenes for the helicopter character, or the helicopter pilot. And when you realize that character or that actor was taken out of this film and was, you know, replaced digitally by the acting of Tig, they put her in this film after the fact. So nobody on set even had her around them. So the fact, when you realize that they were able to digitally reinsert this character, despite the fact that she was never acting around any other actor, is impressive. So I'll give Zack Snyder all the credit in the world for that. That could not have been cheap. It could not have been easy, but they pulled it off seamlessly. It was almost like she was there. I mean, you really, I didn't even know this till after I watched it. And after I watched it, I saw this news and I was like, that's impressive. Absolutely impressive. So kudos to the Snyders for that right there. Yeah, I mean, I actually, as the more I talked about it, the more I kind of liked it. So I do hope that we are going to get the tease sequel here. Whether that'll be on Netflix or, I mean, I know it's been released in theaters in some locations as well, but due to the pandemic, it's not widely, I'm not sure how much it's widely available in theaters, but for a Netflix movie, it was a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll get another one of these. It looks like it has been making a decent profit here. It made $780 million so far on a $70 to $90 million budget, so that's a profit. So I could definitely see this going down the line, and I want to say they might have even had it might even be a prequel film that they've already shot. It finished wrapped filming in December of 2020. So they've already got a few things. They've got an anime style series that will be titled Army of the Dead Las Vegas, that'll center around some of the characters from Army of the Dead during the early phases of the zombie outbreak. So we're going to be getting some more things here in regard to this series. So they're going to expand this franchise. So we're going to see what they do with it. But I definitely had a good time with it. Not perfect, but you know, that's okay. There's really, you know, rarely a movie that is, if there ever is one. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. But let me know what you guys think. That's what really matters here. Comment down below, hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications about when I put up new content here on my channel. And until my next video, guys, take care.